Hey, it's Clay Trader. This will be a video chart on ticker symbol UGAZ. We will take a look at the 30-minute time frame. Real quick, what do I mean by 30-minute in case maybe you're new to charts? Instead of each one of these candlesticks here representing 1 day's worth of price action, which is what you would normally see, each one represents 30 minutes. So while this here may look like several days worth of time, it's actually just today's price action broken down into 30-minute time slices. I like to do this time frame. I think it does a good job of telling the quote-unquote story of the price and just makes mapping out levels of support and resistance a bit easier to see. I did this analysis a couple days ago, so that's where that green line right there is coming from, and I'll get to that in a second. But before anything else, just kind of talking in general here, from a presentation standpoint, this chart is actually very tricky to talk about because there's a lot of perspective that goes into it. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're a day trader and you bought right there, or you bought right there, or heck, even if you bought up there today and you wanted to sell within 10 minutes after buying, then yeah, for you, the chart's looking pretty rough. Now, if you care about the big picture of things, I get it. There was a pretty big pullback today. But from the big picture, the bulls do still have technically an opportunity to build a higher base. And assuming you care about, again, the big picture, when a price is building higher bases over longer periods of time, that's how overall long-term uptrends are constructed. I'm going to be talking about things from a big picture perspective. So if I sound crazy calling something bullish, my guess would be you just had a different outlook and strategy going into the trade. And before we get to that point, though, I want to first make the initial update, which is based on a foundational principle in charting, which states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. So for those of you that watched the past videos, maybe you remember me talking about 920 as support, but now that the prices blow up, this would be the key area of resistance on any sort of bounce. You also have the 50-period simple moving average right there, which you would expect to act as resistance. In fact, that's already happened a couple times right there. So again, on any sort of bounce, right up around that $9.20 mark is where I would expect to see some resistance. Now, going back to the whole big picture thing and how the bulls do still technically have a chance, in my mind, it all revolves around this level right here, which I think the price bounced up, not quite, but close, right around $8.25. Why is $8.25 so important? Well, let's say the price goes down there and tests it again. Didn't quite hit it, but I think for argument's sake, it got close enough right there. So let's say the price comes down there and then bounces along this area a couple more times and then eventually starts to work its way back upwards. What would you have in this situation? Well, you'd have a set of lows right there. You'd have this base of lows down there. Again, from the grand scheme of things perspective, what would you have if you picture these as stair steps? Well, hey, now you have stair steps progressing in the upwards direction. And again, that's how those long-term uptrends are constructed. So there is still a possibility here for the bulls to build a higher base. They don't have much wiggle room left, but we'll see what they have in store and how this is going to close out the week tomorrow. One of the biggest questions I get is, hey Clay, how do you find the stocks that you trade? So what I've done is put together a free resource guide where I talk about the tools that I use to locate stocks that I find interesting and think may have potential. So if that sounds like something that could add value to you as a trader, then click on the image that is up on the screen right now and I will email you the guide. The guide itself is very short and to the point, and best part, it's completely free. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know if you have any questions.